Hello everybody and welcome back to another Shakuhachi video. I am your licensed Shakuhachi teacher, Sean Taidu Head, so let's jump right into it. Do we want to blow straight on to the flute, off to the left, or off to the right? What works best? Well, this is a hard one to say because it's really up to the individual to figure this out. Is it wrong to play off to the left? Is it wrong to play up to the right? Or is it best to do the straight? The answer is yes. And it's not really the answer that everybody wants, but it's the truth, because without experimenting yourself and to try to play and figure it out, you'll never know. And what works for one person may not work for the other person. So in general, what I get my students to start out with is I always get them to start out with playing straight. So we want to have the flute pretty much directly in front of you. Now, what ends up happening is you'll have some people who slightly offset the flute. And unfortunately, this camera angle right now is not the best because it is angled itself. So it actually makes it look like I'm more angled than I actually am. In general, I actually play fairly straight on. Maybe slightly off to the right just a little bit. But, this sort of camera angle, like if I play here, this is actually a little bit off the left for me, where the camera is like, I wonder if I can actually get more into front of the camera. You can kind of see now that this is even a little bit off center right here. But at any rate, trying to get yourself really up center here is the best place to be, I think. Now, what happens if you come off a little bit off to the right? You can already notice that you kind of lose some sound. I find that there's a lot more power and a lot more depth to the sound when we blow straight on onto the flute. When you start to get off to the side, so this is actually it seems a lot more extreme on the camera here. But yeah, going off to the side, I find that what ends up happening is the tone becomes a little bit more muddy. And what happens there is that I don't think you get the best projection, and also you don't get as nearly as much of a clarity for like when you want to play faster passage work or something like that. So I would say recommended is just, trying to keep yourself a little bit more centered than you normally would. Because if you're trying to always come off here, and sometimes this is just a habit from because you have the music in front of you, want to see it, and this can get in the way when you're holding it up. And the bell can be kind of in the way of the music, right? The bigger problem, though, that I find that it's not necessarily blowing straight or blowing right or blowing to the left. That's not the biggest problem that ends up happening. It's actually the twisting of the flute that's more detrimental to the sound than anything else. So if I play the flute straight on here, full body sound that comes out of the flute, and I'm not trying to push to make the sound any bigger. If we push, we can get much bigger, much more rounder sounds, and even a little bit more brassier in some case. But if I twist the flute, then I lose most of the sound. So this is kind of inconsequential. That kind of stuff is inconsequential when you're kind of moving off to the right and to the left. But the twisting of the flute, that's where the problem can really lie. So I wouldn't worry so much about the shakuhachi kind of going off to the left or to the right a little bit. At the end of the day, the change is very minimal. The bigger change is when you twist the flute. So the best way to do this is always practice with a mirror. You can get a kind of like a long standing mirror, and then kind of do on and off sessions with it. So you're going to play in front of it, have a piece that you have memorized, and play a little bit, watching yourself and watching how you want to move and shift and change. Then what you can do is turn away from the camera. From the mirror. This is great if you have a swivel chair. You swivel away, play a little bit, swivel back, and see if you've kind of reverted back to twisting the flute or not. So hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys next time for another lesson.